Emotions running high at the Nueces County Courthouse. Coming up on Chris 6 Sunrise, Uvalde victims' families speak out amidst a tense trial.
Voters, we will remember this.
You can walk out. We don't care.
7 schools hanging in the balance and parents claiming their voices have been silenced. Still to come, why some say last night's meeting at Haas Middle School went wrong.
Good morning and happy Wednesday, everyone. Thank you for watching Chris 6 Sunrise. I'm Brian Hoffman.
And I'm Michelle Hoffman.
So we are continuing to follow the Uvalde school shooting trial. Here's a quick recap of exactly what happened. Day one was relatively quiet as 12 jurors were selected to decide the fate of former Uvalde school resource officer Adrian Gonzalez.
But day two drew more commotion. Some families of victims arrived at the Nueces County Courthouse to give testimony, and as you can imagine, hordes of media were on site to document the first criminal trial related to the 2022 mass shooting. Both the prosecution and Gonzalez defense team started with opening statements Tuesday morning. The prosecution told the jury Gonzalez failed to act on his active shooter training and was not a rookie officer. They said he could have distracted the shooter, but instead, quote, remained, a word the prosecution used throughout their opening statements.
So Gonzalez's defense team focused on the timeline from the point that the shooter crashed his car near the school to when several officers arrived on scene. A defense attorney told the jury that this trial was going to be an emotional one, but not to go based on emotion.
We talked about this in jury selection. None of us, you will not leave this trial the same. You just won't. And thank you for taking on this role, but it's
As the defense lawyer finished up his opening statement with a list of all the things that Gonzalez did during the first few minutes of the shooting, you could start to see the defendant tear up. The first witness called was Pastor Gilbert Lamons, who works part-time over at a funeral home just across the street from the school.
He described leaving the funeral home because he saw there was a crash outside, and when he approached, the shooter fired at him. He ran back and called 911 again to tell them the gunman was walking towards the school.
I hung up with 911 and I called my mom, and I said, Mom, please get into prayers. I said someone's shooting at the children here at the school.
Now, there was 3 other witnesses that appeared on the stand. Texas Ranger Jason Shea, who was the first DPS trooper to arrive on the scene. DPS Captain Justin Duck, he helped collect evidence from the shooter's truck, and a former 3rd grade teacher from Robb Elementary. The trial will resume on Thursday.
Now, folks, we mentioned some families of victims in the Uvalde school shooting arrived at the Nueces County Courthouse on Tuesday for the first day of testimony.
Yeah, that's right. And as expected, a gaggle of reporters from across the state and, in fact, across the country were waiting outside the building to document the high-profile case. So Jesse Rios and Velma Lisa Duran arrived around 7:30 this morning. Yesterday morning, I should say. Duran, Irma Garcia's sister, who was one of the 2 teachers killed in the Uvalde school shooting. If you happen to recall, Garcia's husband died a few days after her passing.
Rizzo is the uncle of 9-year-old Jackie Casares, who was one of the 19 children killed at Robb Elementary.
As much as it is difficult for us to be here today, I cannot imagine how difficult it was for them to try to survive, to try to live. You know, what the human instinct does, right? It tells you that fight back, push back, do something, right? And it keeps on going.
The trial is expected to last 2 weeks, and as the case progresses, we will keep you updated on air and on our website, christv.com. So folks, make sure you follow along for the latest from the Nueces County Courthouse. So what started as a routine renovation work at a Fall Furious funeral home last Friday ended with a shocking discovery. 2 detonated pipe bombs were discovered inside the building, and authorities told neighborhood news reporter Melissa Trevino a construction crew found the explosives at Sanchez and Sons funeral home. The Fall Furious chief of police says the workers thought they were fireworks, but they called police just in case. Police quickly identified them as pipe bombs.
I really hope that this is a one-time deal. In reality, this is a very dangerous thing. If these start to pop up, I can tell you that things will get messy, and they will get messy fast.
Police believe the pipe bombs were detonated sometime during New Year's Eve. They caused minor damage to walls and floors of the funeral home. The ATF and the Corpus Christi Bomb Squad are helping with the investigation.
We will remember this.
You can walk out. We don't care.
Yeah, pretty tense, right? That was the scene over at Haas Middle School last night. That's one of the potential 7 schools to be closed this year by CCISD in their school consolidation plan. The video was sent by a viewer who attended the community meeting, telling Chris 6 News that the meeting ended 20 minutes before it was actually scheduled to end, after families got frustrated that they weren't being allowed to speak and that their questions or possibly statements were being edited. The next meeting is scheduled tonight over at Castores Elementary at 5 p.m.
Well, hey there, and good Wednesday morning, Coastal Bend. Taking a live look now at our USS Lexington Cam, thanks to First Community Bank. Both the aquarium and the new Harbor Bridge in view, putting on some good shows for our Wednesday morning. Sitting at 59 degrees and those winds out of the southeast 6 miles an hour. Might be jacket worthy still this morning, but surely as we go in the afternoon and we're going to see those 80s return, probably not going to need the jacket by then. Taking a quick look at what to expect for today, well, we do have that patchy fog around this morning and plenty of cloud cover, but as we roll into the afternoon, we're going to expect more of that sunshine and the 80s, similar to the last couple of days, but different from the last couple of days. As we go into the afternoon and evening, those winds are going to start picking up, getting pretty gusty, especially as we're heading in towards the dinner time frame, maybe even pushing that 30-mile-an-hour mark. Taking a look at our current visibilities out there, we're down to a half a mile statute visibility over in Beeville. A third of a mile is what we're reading here at the International Airport, Rockport, Orange Grove, and Alice. As we work over towards Hebbronville, looking like the worst of it, down to that 0 statute miles of visibility. So definitely want to give ourselves a few extra minutes as we're heading out for that morning commute. And taking a look at our dense fog advisory, it was for just those inland communities. Now we've since seen it spread through all of Nueces County and Clayburgh County. But as we're going through this, going to have this in effect until 10 a.m. either way, so want to be mindful of that. Should start to see the fog dissipating around that 9 to 10 a.m. hour especially. For our temperatures right now, sitting at 61 degrees in Beeville, 62 out there in Freer. As we work a little more to the northwest, Cotulla coming in at 59 degrees, and then Kingsville winning out the cool spot this morning, coming in at 58 degrees, and then a 10-degree run. As we work to Port Aransas, as normal, a little bit warmer, 68 this morning. For our dog walking forecast today, we've got Mando on the board, and looking at those temperatures for Mando's walk, going to be 69 degrees by 9 a.m., 77 by 11 a.m., and already pushing into the 80s as we're heading out for that lunch hour. So definitely a warm one on the way, and those daytime highs in your neck of the woods, 80s across the board, maybe even pushing into those upper 80s as you work your way a little bit further south. But either way, as we go into this evening, like I talked about, those winds are going to pick up around 30 miles an hour by that dinner time frame, holding on to this as we go into our Thursday. And most of our Thursday going to be pretty breezy out there, so hopefully you have the loose outdoor decorations tied down. For that future tracker, only a little bit of cloud cover this morning, but then we're going to start to see it dissipating going into the later hours. Luckily, that's going to warm us up right into the 80s. So getting a quick look at that 7-day forecast for you, can see that next cold front on the board. That's going to drop temperatures into the 60s.
It's just not the same kid he was like 2 weeks ago.
Parents speaking out. Still to come, more developments in the felony charge against one Odom Edroy student.
And it's a story we've been following for months. A big update from the Corpus Christi Housing Authority coming up. Hey, welcome back, folks. 6:11 this Wednesday morning. You're getting a live look right now from our studio sky cam. What a beautiful view, right? 60 degrees outside right now, though. We will check in with meteorologist Stephen Jones in just a bit. But first, we have some neighborhood news to get to.
So it's a program designed to make apartments more affordable for families. But after Chris 6's investigation into exactly how these deals were approved, the Corpus Christi Housing Authority voted Tuesday to undo the program. So after hours of public comment, the board voted to end the workforce housing program. So leasers and renters advocates alike urged the board not to rescind the deals, warning families could be displaced.
We do see the difference this program makes every single day. We see relief in the residents' eyes when they know they will not lose their home. And now, we also see the anxiety, the heartbreak, those who fear what may happen if the support disappears.
But board attorneys told members that the issue before them wasn't whether the housing was needed, It was whether the deals were even legal. A legal memo read into the record says that the Housing Authority violated the Texas Open Meetings Act and that former CEO Gary Alsop approved the deals without proper public notice. And developers say that without these agreements, some properties could default on loans and plan to take the next phase into court. Housing attorneys counter that the deals were never legally approved to begin with.
I'm Adam Beam, your neighborhood news reporter in Odom. Parents are demanding answers from the district after a student athlete was arrested for indecency with a child. Now one of those parents is speaking out. We must warn you, the following story may be distressing to some viewers.
His patience is just like gone. Like he doesn't want to. He's just not himself, I guess, in a nutshell. He's just not the same kid he was like 2 weeks ago.
That's the change one parent noticed in their student after an alleged assault on an Odom school bus in December. A parent who spoke anonymously says her student was the first. Only it's not the assault that resulted in the arrest of 19-year-old Christopher Soto.
Unfortunately, the other child, they were not able to just get socks and shoes off. He started kicking, the bus driver turned on the lights, and nobody got up. The coaches just said, hey, boys, y'all need to settle down back there.
They tell us shortly after this, the second assault allegedly took place under coach supervision.
When I talked to the principal last week, she said, well, you know, the way the boys discussed it, it seemed to just be horseplay that got out of hand. And the fact that the coaches didn't even react at all. This school is notorious for letting things get brushed under the rug because of who you know. It's a small town.
Several parents told us those coaches are on leave pending an investigation. However, getting an answer from the district was difficult. When we requested a statement, we were provided a district-wide notice that was sent to parents in December, a notice that did not answer our questions regarding employment status, adding they are not required to answer questions and will take no further action. We attempted to get answers in person, but the superintendent was not in. This not sitting well with those affected.
I'm at loss for words, to be honest with you. Like I said, I put my trust in the school to keep my kids safe, and if you can't keep high school kids safe, how can I trust you to keep any younger kids safe?
With Odom ISD declining to answer our questions, we've put in a public information request in hopes of getting the facts for you. We'll continue to update neighbors as this story develops. In Odom, I'm Adam Beam for Chris 6 News.
Well, hey there, and good Wednesday morning. Taking a live look now at our Snoopy Skycam. Thanks to Matthew CCAC. Not too bad out there, but plenty of moisture in the air and a little bit of fog as we're heading out this morning. So want to give yourself a couple extra minutes for that morning commute. 65 degrees in those winds out of the south, continuing to bring in more of that warm and humid air. Unfortunately, not looking like too much rain today, though. Taking a look back at yesterday's almanac data, you can see 82 degrees, only 3 degrees shy of that record 85 we set back in 1994. 65 for the morning, about 17 degrees above average, but there is a good cool down on the way. First, taking a look at those visibilities out there, well reduced right now, down to 1/3 of a mile in Rockport, matching that at the International Airport. Also going to match that into Orange Grove and Alice this morning, with Hebbronville reading about 0 statute miles really across the board. Just want to give yourself a little bit extra caution as we're heading out on those roadways this morning. Temperatures in your neck of the woods, a good warm up towards Port Aransas, 68 degrees, 58 degrees there in Kingsville, going to be our cool spot this morning. 59 for San Diego, going to match that 59 in Cotulla, and then coming in at 63 degrees for Robstown this morning. As we're looking at that iced coffee forecast for you today, not looking too bad at all, especially as we're heading into the afternoon. Chasing 83 degrees for that daytime high here in Corpus Christi, with a little bit of humidity definitely noticeable as you're heading out into the afternoon. So the iced coffee not sounding too bad at all. And as we look at those wind gusts, they are going to ride up the board going into that 30-mile-an-hour range, heading towards dinner time tonight, and going to hold that 30-mile-an-hour range going into the overnight hours. Also, as we go into our Thursday, going to be a pretty windy one for us tomorrow. For our future tracker going into today, a little bit of inland cloud cover or fog and that cloud cover overhead. As we go into the afternoon, we like to clear out quite a bit across the coastal bend. Tomorrow morning, we see that redevelopment of a little bit of fog and cloud cover out there, with also the addition of a few green specks on the radar potentially going into tomorrow morning. Now, not unfortunately, we're going to see any downpours out there tomorrow, but we are going to see maybe a few drops of rain on the windshield as we're heading out for that morning commute tomorrow. For our upper level pattern, we've been watching it all week. This next upper level trough working into the area by Friday into Saturday. Look at how far it stretches down into the Lone Star State. We're going to see a good cold front as a result of this, and that's going to cause those temperatures to drop from the 80s, 85 degrees tomorrow, 83 by Friday, and then the cloud cover takes right back over for the weekend as we cool down into those upper or lower 60s for daytime highs, even the upper 50s by Sunday.
I mean, I went from being like a gypsy nomad backpacking to carrying around a weapon and wearing body armor in Iraq.
And now she owns a Corpus Christi pizza spot. For this week's Veterans in Focus, we'll show you how Pam Chavez's journey is challenging us to rethink what's possible this new year.
This is Veterans in Focus, sponsored by the Heil Law Firm, battling for justice, winning for the community.
Every new year, change is expected, but for many, adapting to it can be the hardest part. But for this week's Veterans in Focus, I have an example of how those unplanned parts of life could lead to greater things.
We are open, and we're open with our new menu.
She's the face behind Saucy Mamas in Corpus Christi. For the last 3 years, Pam Chavez has been taking pizza orders with a smile while running her own kitchen.
Food is something I've always loved, and I've loved creating in the kitchen.
But her path to this point wasn't exactly a straight slice. She spent her 20s traveling around the world.
I had sold everything and backpacked around the world for a year. I went through South America, Chile, Thailand, India.
By her 30s, she knew she needed to make dough in more ways than one.
Turns out when you spend all your money and you've sold everything, it's really difficult to get started again.
So she joined the military, signing on as a combat medic, even spending a year in Iraq.
What was your experience like? I was older when I joined. I was 30 when I joined. So I just think I was emotionally ready for it. I knew what I was getting into.
But preparation doesn't stop life from changing. For Chavez, it was marriage, divorce, and single motherhood. Through every twist and turn, she kept moving forward.
It built my character. It really reassured my resilience and perseverance in life. I mean, I went from being like a gypsy nomad backpacking to carrying around a weapon and wearing body armor in Iraq. Like, that's such a strange contrast and amazing life experience, and it's just sort of made me who I am.
Today, her focus is her family and her business, Saucy Mamas. Starting with a franchise, she later broke free, creating her own menu with nutritional pizzas, high-protein options, and gourmet salads. But what Chavez loves most? Not to be cheesy, but she says it's truly the connection she builds with customers and the community. She shares her journey online, hoping to inspire others to embrace change and find their own slice of success.
The hardest things are what we grow from the most.
She is so cool, right? Well, folks, as we reported, since Chavez transitioned from Sam and Louise Pizzeria to Saucy Mamas, some have had trouble finding her location online. So here it is. Her business is at the same building at 4117 South Staple Street.
Well, hey there, and good Wednesday morning, Coastal Bend taking a live look now at our USS Lexington cam. Thanks to First Community Bank, both the Harbor Bridge and the aquarium in view putting on a good show for our Wednesday morning so far, but you could see that moisture in the air with the lights getting just a little bit fuzzy out there. But as we look at the traffic flow, luckily the fog not causing too many troubles out there, seeing plenty of greens on the map as we're taking a look at it. Starting off with the new Harbor Bridge, if you're heading to or from Portland this morning, you're going to be good and green heading that direction, as well as 181 into Taft, but 361 in Ingleside. Might want to give yourself just an extra minute or two on that roadway. Now from Robstown and Calallen, 37 looking clear coming in from Calallen, as well as 44 for the most part coming in from Robstown. Only a very minor slowdown near Violet. Coming in towards our neck of the woods for our major roadways, take your pick: Ocean Drive, SBID, Saratoga, and Crosstown Expressway. All four of them coming in the clear, so no issues in our neck of the woods. Over towards Flower Bluff, still seeing that slowdown as you work up towards the Naval Air Station, but other than that, looking good over towards the Flower Bluff area and really over towards the island as well. So good and green wherever you're coming from and going to.
Thank you, Stephen. Still to come, some details on a big road project in your neighborhood. We'll be right back on Chris 6 Sunrise.
Well, you're halfway there. You made it to Wednesday, Coastal Bend, and taking a live look now at our Snoopy Skycam. Thanks to Matthew CCAC. Not too bad of a Wednesday morning either. Just a little bit of fog you could see there trying to set up on the causeway. You can see the lights getting just a little bit fuzzy, but really not too bad and not too much to complain about. We'll take it over the freezing temperatures, but there is a cool down on the way. What to expect for the rest of today? Well, we're going to have that patchy fog and plenty of cloud cover into this morning, but as we go into the afternoon, pretty similar to the past couple of days, going to clear out once again with plenty of sunshine on the menu. But as we go into the evening, one difference from the past couple of days, those winds, you're going to notice them picking up definitely into the afternoon and towards dinner time, around 15 to even upwards of 30 miles an hour out of the south. For our current visibilities out there, though, want to get you updated on the fog visibilities right now. A third of a mile visibility is what we're reading in Orange Grove as well as Alice. Also, Hebronville has come up just a little bit now to a third of a mile. Seeing the worst of it just to the northeast of Rockport slightly there, but also reading a third of a mile. So definitely want to be a little bit extra cautious on those roadways this morning if you're heading out the door. Looking at the dense fog advisory, we do have this in effect until 10 a.m. So we could see some of those reduced visibilities until that hour. But I think by the 9 a.m. hour, we should start to see it lifting just a little bit, but still want to be mindful of it, of course. For our current temperatures in your neck of the woods, a good cool down over towards Cotulla coming in at 59 degrees, but the cool spot going to be Kingsville coming in at 58, and then a decent warm up towards the coast as usual. Port Aransas coming in at 68, 61 for Ingleside this morning. Taking a look at our dog walking forecast now, we've got Mando on the board today, and looking at those temperatures for Mando's walk, only going to climb through the 60s, 70s, and then even into the 80s by that lunchtime hour. 74 degrees, of course, on the board by 10 a.m., and then 80 by that noon hour before we push into those lower 80s for daytime highs. And taking a look at how that could shape up for you throughout the day, 81 degrees by 1 p.m., even those lower 80s by 3, and here's where those winds, you're going to start noticing them picking up, especially by dinner time, already sustained out of the south around 20 miles an hour or so, but those gusts getting upwards of 30 miles an hour like I talked about. For our future tracker today, going to hold on to this cloud cover and a little bit of fog through 8 to 9 a.m. before it still really starts to dissipate across the region. Going into this afternoon, plenty of sunshine, but by tomorrow morning, more of that cloud cover redevelops and a little bit of fog with even a few specks of green starting to show up on the radar as well tomorrow, but not going to be a major rainfall event for us. For our upper level pattern into these next couple of days, we've really been tracking it all week. This next trough of low pressure, at least in the upper levels, really going to work in by the Friday to Saturday time frame, pushing down into the Lone Star State. And of course, we're going to see a good cold front making its way into the coastal bend. Going to hold its strength, it definitely looks like by this time. As we're going into the next couple of days, we still have those 80s, but look at the steep drop going from Friday into Saturday. So if you've been missing out on winter, here's your opportunity to get more of those cooler temperatures going into that second full week of 2026. By the middle of the week, we get right back above average, but hopefully we don't get back into those 80s right now. It's looking more pleasant in those 70s by the middle of next week. For our muggy meter, going to follow that similar trend. We're pretty humid right now. You can feel the humidity as we're stepping out into the afternoons, but when that cold front arrives, it is just going to drop them right down out of the 50s and down into the potentially 30s and 20s out there, so definitely considerably drier air. But as we're looking at the rain chances, we could use some working back into the coastal bend, and right now we're only looking at isolated chances throughout the next 7 days. We are going to see a brief chance with that frontal passage, but right now the better chance looks to reside with Monday into Tuesday. Still not going to be the downpours that we need across the area, though. For that 7-day forecast, definitely going to be on the cool down. We see that cold front working into the area by Friday night, making for 59 degrees by Sunday.
Sorry, I was playing my favorite Nintendo Switch game at Cotton's Collectibles. If you're a high school student, find out which team you can join.
Plus, the Dallas Cowboys are cleaning house. Which coach got the boot in sports?
And still to come on Chris 6 Sunrise, a back-to-school boost for students in our neighborhood and the story behind this special community event after the break.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. So with all the uncertainty of prices these days, tariffs left and right, and oil kind of doing a bit of a roller coaster, let's talk about something maybe we can all save some money on. Food, right? All right, we're tracking these grocery prices per the retailer's website as of this morning. Let's start out with a carton of eggs, shall we? Walmart comes in first place at $1.97, only by about 3 cents, trailing by Target, and then H-E-B at $2.12. Next on to a loaf of bread. No big change here, and you can never beat that dollar French bread loaf, so let's move on because H-E-B took the winner there. Next on to a gallon of milk. Looks like first and second place are actually tied, so we'll go first place at Walmart and H-E-B, and then second place is Target with their Good and Gather at $3.29. Wrapping things on up with a protein shell. A pound of ground beef is going to cost you $4.79 at H-E-B. That's the cheapest price around town I was able to find, but hey, if you can do better, I'm proud of you. Go ahead and throw it on in your cart while you can. I have all of these prices posted on our website, christv.com.
So middle school students from across the coastal bend are starting the spring semester on the right foot. Over 100 students got to go shopping Tuesday for a brand new pair of athletic shoes during the 4th annual Kicks for Class, sponsored by the Heil Law Firm. We spoke with organizers about the importance of events like this one.
You know, our students strive to be best athletes in middle school, and because of the school budgets, they don't get shoe wear. So Mr. Heil Law and the law firm fundraises so we can sponsor 120 students.
Yeah, they do such great work for our community. Students from CCISD, Flower Bluff, Taft, and even Cal Allen copped some fresh new kicks from the event. And there's new information on the project on Rodfield Road and Brook Road. AEP says that location will be an 8-acre laydown yard right next to their Valdez substation. It will be used for yard materials. Now, last week we reached out to the spokesperson and he told us AEP was moving their poles 20 feet south. He just got confused with the Yorktown project near Rodfield.
Well, hey there and happy Wednesday, Coastal Bend. Taking a live look at our Snoopy Skycam now, thanks to Matthew CCAC. Sitting at 65 degrees, those winds out of the south 8 miles an hour, and not too bad in terms of the fog front here in the Snoopy Skycam, I should say, but definitely seeing some more as we work into some of our communities. Taking a look at those dew points, they are in the 50s and the 60s, even upwards of the upper 60s along the coast, so definitely noticing it as you step out the door, and that's the reason we're seeing some of these reduced visibilities. So giving you the latest update on them, still reading 1/3 of a mile in Alice, Orange Grove, Rockport, Beeville, and Hebronville, so well-reduced visibilities out there. Just want to be extra cautious on those roadways this morning for our Wednesday morning commute, of course. Unfortunately, no rain on the radar as of right now, but we are going to see those rain chances tick up on the board a little bit, at least as we're heading into tonight, and then especially into the 7-day forecast just a little bit. But for today's forecast, only looking at those partly cloudy skies as we're heading into the afternoon. Going to be chasing those lower 80s, but we're also going to notice those winds picking up a little bit out of the south. I'll go over all those winds and the rain chances, of course, coming up.
Now, 20 minutes of non-stop news, sponsored by Ewald Kubota.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our 20 minutes of non-stop news with the Hoffmans. I'm Brian Hoffman.
And I'm Michelle Hoffman. And we have plenty of neighborhood news for you this morning, folks. But first, let's check in with meteorologist Stephen Jones with a look at the roadways. And Stephen, we kind of had to use our windshield wipers for, because it wasn't pretty clear.
No, yeah, there is so much moisture in the air right now. Our temperatures are in the 60s. Those dew points are in the 60s. You get all that, and you actually start to get that cloud cover out there, and that's exactly what we're seeing. A little bit of fog out there, and that's when you also start to get some of that condensation on the windshields. Here's a live look now at our SPID cam where you can see a little bit of the fuzzy lights out there under the street lights, and that's indicative of just how much moisture is in our air right now. Luckily, the fog not causing too many troubles on the roadways as we're looking at the traffic flow across the Corpus Christi area. Plenty of greens on the map right now, but there is a couple slowdowns we want to look at out there as we're going to look at that traffic flow right now. So starting it off with the New Harbor Bridge, if you're heading to or from Portland, going to be good and green, although on 361, a little bit of stop and go traffic there, so want to be mindful of that and give yourself a couple extra minutes, as well as the fog out there. Coming in from Cal Allen and Robstown, both 37 and 44 coming in the clear. Only minor slowdowns as you're getting in closer into town here in Corpus Christi. Over into the Corpus Christi area, though, not too bad. Just Rodfield as you're working up towards Saratoga there, a minor slowdown. So just want to give yourself a couple extra minutes, but be wary of that fog today, of course.
Stephen, appreciate you, sir. We're going to check back in with you in just a little bit. But folks, first, we have just so much neighborhood news to get to this morning.
Yeah, that's right. From the latest developments in the Uvalde trial to explosives found in a local funeral home. We have stories that are making an impact in your neighborhood. But first, we're going to start with sports director Larissa Liska with the latest in esports for local high school students.
Hey everyone, I'm Larissa Liska at Cotton Collectibles. How many of you play a Nintendo Switch or, like me, a Game Boy Color? Well, I have the team for you. Edge Esports is starting a team for high school athletes in the Coastal Bend. And the best part, you can work your way up to the top and one day possibly earn a college scholarship.
Make it easier for me, bro. Please just make it easier.
I didn't think it was going to get anywhere like this. I thought it was always going to be able to play for, in the professional world, $10,000. Now they're playing for millions and millions, and it's really becoming just like a mainstream sport.
The opportunities are endless for esports, but over a year ago, this option was not available in the Coastal Bend.
It helped me get out more. I didn't have many friends before this, so I made it a lot more here, and it just made me closer to the games I like.
What started as a small organization for homeschool students has expanded to a nonprofit. Any Coastal Bend student that is at a high school that does not have an esports program can join.
When they mash out, up tilt, and do your spinning fist, and you'll juggle them like that, okay?
Last year, the varsity team placed 5th at state in Mario Kart and Smash Crew, led by 16-year-old Cannon Cisneros. This season, they'll have retired Halo pro Steven Peterson, gamertag Solarith as their head coach. He's been in esports for 2 decades.
I'm Coach Steven. Nice to meet you. Hello. Nice to meet you.
Like the coaches here, they're not like gaming. They don't play games that much. So these new guys they play games. They know a lot about the game. So it's exciting to have like a gaming coach.
The Edge Foundation is more than gameplay. It's about student wellness, STEM education, and leadership training, and college and career readiness.
There's so many jobs. People don't think about cameramen, desk analysts, setup crews, production, cybersecurity, even HR.
Edge Esports competes in Smash Brothers, Fortnite, and Mario Kart.
Nice.
But there are options for chess, Street Fighter, and Madden.
You should come on by because we're super friendly, super open to anyone.
If you'd like to join the Edge Esports teams, tryouts continue on Saturday and Sunday right here at Cotton's Collectibles starting at noon. But you need to sign up for tryouts. You can find the link on ChrisTV.com.
In the NFL, teams that did not make it to playoffs like the Cowboys were cleaning house, mostly lockers for the players. But Dallas did fire defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus on Tuesday. He served 1 year with the Cowboys. It was historic, but in a bad way. Dallas gave up a team-high 511 points. After the trade deadline, the Cowboys did improve their run defense after acquiring defensive tackle Quinnen Williams, but that did not hold down the stretch. A disappointing finish considering the offensive success led by Dak Prescott, who passed for 4,552 yards and 30 touchdowns.
One of the best offenses in the league, explosive. Now, sure, not always to our standard. Didn't play like that every week in and week out. But put up a lot of points. Unfortunately, right, just didn't win all the games that we should have.
Well, hey there, and good Wednesday morning, Coastal Bend. Taking a live look at our USS Lexington Cam, thanks to First Community Bank. Both the aquarium and the new Harbor Bridge in view, putting on some good shows for our Wednesday morning. 59 degrees and those winds still out of the south. Maybe a jacket-worthy morning, but as we go into the afternoon, surely could probably use it with plenty of sunshine and those 80s expected. What to expect for the rest of the day, of course, well, we're seeing that patchy fog right now, but we are going to see it dissipate and more of that sunshine into the afternoon, chasing those 80s, pretty similar to what we saw the past couple of days. But as we're going into this evening, you're going to notice one difference. Those winds definitely picking up out of the south, 15 to 25 miles an hour sustained, with some of those gusts passing up 30 miles an hour. Current temperatures right now, though, going to be sitting at that 60-degree mark in Ingleside, matching that in Beeville. 59 as we work to the northwest in Cotulla, going to match that in San Diego, but the cool spot this morning going to be 57 degrees in Kingsville over there right now. As we're looking out there at the iced coffee forecast for today, I should say, not looking too bad at all for it as well. 83 degrees and that humid air, going to notice it whenever you're heading out the day. Well, it's going to be a pretty warm one for us, and we're going to continue that into tomorrow, but we're going to see those winds pick up like I talked about, and here's what you could expect. 1 p.m. about 15 miles an hour, 3 p.m. already picking up towards that 20-mile-an-hour range. That's where we could also expect that daytime high around 83 degrees and going to hold those sustained winds 20 to 25 miles an hour as we're going into tonight. Here's a look at some of those stronger gusts, though, getting upwards of 30 to 35 miles an hour, and going to hold that into our Thursday until we finally start to get that cold front into our neck of the woods by that Friday time frame. For our future tracker going into today, a little bit of that cloud cover and fog for the morning hours. Here's how that could shape up for you as we go into that later morning hours and the afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, maybe a stray cloud or two, but one difference as we go into tomorrow, we are going to see that redevelopment of the cloud cover, maybe even a little bit of fog tomorrow morning once again. I don't think the fog should be quite as thick tomorrow, but the main difference I'm looking at is actually starting to see a few more specks of green on the radar, and I will take it. We could use every drop of rain we could get. Unfortunately, not going to be a major rainfall event for us, but we'll still take it while we can get it for now. For that upper level pattern, and going to see this next upper level trough. That's what's bringing the cold front into our neck of the woods by Friday into Saturday, and that's going to bring a substantial cool down to the coastal bend as well as that brief rain chance, but we could surely use more. So here's that 7-day forecast for you. You can see by Friday when that cold front comes through, maybe a 20% chance at rain, but then the big drop in temperature is going to be the big story with this cold front. 59 degrees on the board for that daytime high by Sunday. Plenty of cloud cover this weekend, so definitely probably not too much sunscreen out there. But as we're going into next week, another rain chance on the board as we're heading into Tuesday with those 60s still expected.
I'm Melissa Trevino, your neighborhood news reporter in Falfurrias. Construction crews hard at work renovating this funeral home stumbled upon a terrifying surprise: pipe bombs inside. Now a full-scale police investigation is underway. Sanchez and Sons funeral home owner Lalo Sanchez was alerted about an incident on January 2nd. Construction crews found burnt marks on the floor when they went to work that day. They thought kids popping fireworks were responsible for the damage made to the floor and walls. To their surprise, it was not. The moment Falfurrias Police Chief William Barton arrived, he knew it was pipe bombs that had exploded. The funeral home has been under construction for nearly 10 months. Sanchez says he was out of town, and seeing what happened concerns him. No arrests have been made at this time, and while the damage was minimal, the discovery has rattled the community.
The first day of testimony concluded Tuesday in the trial of former Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District officer Adrian Gonzalez as he faced a jury for the first time. Families of the victims traveled all the way here to Corpus Christi for that trial. I'm Alexis Scott, your downtown neighborhood news reporter here at the Nueces County Courthouse, speaking with the families about why this trial means everything to them.
It seemed like an eternity. You can't sleep at night thinking about all the details you may hear.
The family of 9-year-old Jackie Casares describing the painful wait for justice, a wait that began nearly 4 years ago and continues inside a Nueces County courtroom. Chris 6 News spoke with Jackie's uncle, Jesse Rizzo, moments before he and his wife Juanita walked into the courthouse. The memory of their niece still fresh in their hearts, a little girl they describe as full of joy and love.
She was always embracing, always hugging, always loving.
Rizzo says the love is what gives his family the strength to keep showing up even on the hardest days.
I may hear things that are going to be uncomfortable, but that May 24th was a lot more uncomfortable for them. As much as it is difficult for us to be here today, I cannot imagine how difficult it was for them to try to survive, to try to live. You know, what the human instinct does, right? It tells you that fight back, push back, do something, right? And it keeps on going.
Among the other victims' families arriving to court Tuesday, Velma Lisa Duran, the sister of murdered teacher Irma Garcia.
Adrian could have stopped him. If he's the first one that was there, he could have stopped him. How can this happen? I can't wait to hear how he's going to defend him. I can't wait to hear his opening statement.
Her words echoed the frustration and heartbreak that families have carried. But Duran says this moment for her is about making sure the world remembers the teachers who ran towards danger, putting their students first.
I am so happy that finally, 3.5 years later, something is happening. But why didn't anybody say anything about the teachers? Not one of y'all said anything about my sister.
She says the loss of her sister has turned into a mission for her, a demand for change.
This is still happening. All these mass shootings. And the protection of these laws is disgraceful. Things have to change.
The families tell me they will continue to be present during the trial until justice is served for their loved ones. The trial is expected to last up to 2 weeks. Near downtown at the Nueces County Courthouse, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Alexis Scott, Chris 6 News.
Now, 6 things to know before you go.
Now, folks, in the second day of the Uvalde trial, both the prosecution and Gonzalez defense team started with opening statements Tuesday morning. The prosecution told the jury Gonzalez failed to act on his active shooter training and was not a rookie officer, stating he, quote, remained, a word the prosecution used throughout their opening statements. Gonzalez's defense team focused on the timeline from the point the shooter crashed his car near the school to when several officers arrived.
So parents in Odom are demanding action from the school district after a student athlete was arrested for indecency with a child. One parent told our own Adam Beam that their child was also assaulted. She claims that 3 coaches only told students to, quote, settle down during the incident. Shortly after, another student was assaulted, and that one led to the arrest of 19-year-old Christopher Soto.
I'm at loss for words, to be honest with you. Like I said, I put my trust in the school to keep my kids safe, and if you can't keep high school kids safe, how can I trust you to keep any younger kids safe?
So we did receive kind of a response from the district, but they didn't actually answer any of our questions about the employment of those coaches. So Chris 6 News has now filed a public information request to get the facts for you. Clock is ticking now, school district. We'll keep you updated.
It's a program designed to make apartments more affordable for families. But after a Chris 6 investigation into how these deals were approved, the Corpus Christi Housing Authority voted Tuesday to undo the program. After hours of public comment, the board voted to end the workforce housing program. Renter advocates urged the board not to rescind the deals, warning families could be displaced.
We do see the difference this program makes every single day. We see relief in the residents' eyes when they know they will not lose their home. And now, we also see the anxiety, the heartbreak, those who fear what may happen if the support disappears.
But board attorneys told members the issue before them wasn't whether housing was needed, it was whether the deals were legal. A legal memo read into the record says the Housing Authority violated the Texas Open Meetings Act and that former CEO Gary Alsop approved the deals without proper public notice.
We will remember this. You can walk out. We don't care.
Yikes. Well, hey, that was the scene over at Haas Middle School last night, one of the potential 7 schools to be closed this year by CCISD in their school consolidation plan. A video was sent to us by a viewer who attended the community meeting, telling Chris 6 News that the meeting ended 20 minutes before it was actually set to end, after families got frustrated that they weren't being allowed to speak and that their questions and possibly statements were being edited. The next meeting is scheduled tonight at Castores Elementary at 5 p.m.
And an update to the U.S. military mission that captured Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro and his wife. Pentagon officials and a person familiar with the situation say at least 7 U.S. service members were injured during Operation Absolute Resolve. 2 of the service members are still recovering from their injuries. The other 5 have returned to duty. One of the service members had gunshot wounds to the legs and injuries considered fairly serious. The service members are currently receiving medical care and continue their recovery journey.
And in the wake of the Venezuela situation, President Trump took to social media to announce that the country's interim government will turn over up to 50 million barrels of sanctioned oil to the U.S. No actual response from the Venezuelan government yet, though. Trump did say that the oil would be sold at market value, with proceeds, quote, controlled by me, the President of the United States of America, to ensure that it's used in the benefit of the people of Venezuela and the U.S., end quote. Selling 30 to 50 million barrels of Venezuelan oil could raise between $1.65 and $2.75 billion.
On to what's trending now. They're cute, they're cuddly, and they've arrived at the Smithsonian National Zoo. Meet the newest addition to the Washington, D.C. Zoo, a pair of sloth bear cubs. They were born on December 7th in an off-exhibit den. The sex of each cub has not been determined yet, but they also haven't been named yet. However, they're getting great care from their mother, Molly, around the clock. So cute. Should we name them right now and then get attached?
I mean, you're just going to call one of them Panda.
I know, right? Well, it's not technically even a panda.
The Panda sloth.
Yeah. Or what was the sloth's name from Ice Age? Sid.
Sid.
Yeah.
Sid. Okay, yeah. I think
so
one of them needs to be
cute.
named Sid.
And then the other one Barry or something.
Okay,
Sid
Done.
and Barry.
Named. I'm
Those
attached.
are fun. Those are so good. They were very cute, though, you know, and I think they wouldn't mind the weather that we're having down here.
Yeah.
It's probably quite a bit cooler up there where they are, but here we're sitting in the 60s. Not too much to complain about other than that fog we're seeing out there. As we're heading out the door, definitely want to give ourselves a few extra minutes this morning due to some of that fog. Here's a live look at the USS Lexington, Cam. Thanks to First Community Bank, 62 degrees, and those winds still out of the south, continuing to bring in this warm and more humid air. So you can see the Harbor Bridge in view and and the aquarium. They're putting on a good show, but luckily the fog not too bad here in downtown Corpus Christi, but we are seeing some of those reduced visibilities. What to expect for today? Well, we're going to have that fog around through about 10 a.m., but then we're going to start to see the partly cloudy skies take over as we head into the 80s once again, similar to yesterday, but different from yesterday. Those winds are going to pick up pretty substantially this evening, around 15 to 25 miles an hour. Going to notice some gusts upwards of 30 miles an hour into the evening hours and overnight hours. For our current visibilities, reading about a third of a mile visibility in Rockport, as well as Orange Grove, Alice, and the Hebronville area. Beeville seeing the worst of it right now, about 0 statute miles, just over 1.5 there in Robstown, and sitting at the 2-mile mark here in Corpus Christi, as well as working just to the southwest there in Kingsville. For our dense fog advisory, we are going to have this in effect until 10 a.m. this morning. That's where we're going to start to notice more of that sunshine coming out. But for your morning commute, want to give yourself a little bit extra caution on those roadways. For our temperatures out there right now, a pretty good spread of them, about 10 degrees from Kingsville at 57 degrees, and then actually 11 degrees upwards towards Port Aransas, coming in at 68 this morning, 59 on the board as we work up towards Beeville and matching that in Cotulla. For our dog walking forecast today, we've got Mando on the board, and Mando I don't think isn't going to be too upset about these temperatures. 74 degrees by 10 a.m., already pushing into that 80-degree mark by the lunchtime hour. Winds going to be out of the south all day. Like I talked about, they're going to start to pick up into this afternoon. Daytime highs in your neck of the woods sitting in maybe the upper 70s as you work your way a little closer to the coast, but even pushing upwards of the upper 80s as you work your way a little bit further south, and that's because of all the sunshine we're going to be expecting later this afternoon. But as we go into tomorrow, going to notice more of those wind gusts and a little bit more cloud cover on the board. 30 miles an hour is what we're looking at right now for some of those wind gusts, and as we're looking at that 7-day forecast, you can expect those temperatures in the 80s until finally that cold front arrives by Friday night, puts us into the 60s for this weekend, maybe even the upper 50s there by Sunday. But my eyes are definitely on Tuesday, hoping for some more rain for us here in the Coastal Bend.
Yeah, because we absolutely need it. We also have Water Wednesdays, which airs every Wednesday of the month, so make sure you guys stay tuned.
Yeah.
All right, folks.
Thanks for tuning in. We will see you in a little bit.